What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. And it looked like Cleveland Browns offensive coordinator admits that the offense does not have a rhythm. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Cleveland. Let's get it. Let's go.
Like my man Junior. For real? Somebody call me Junior too. When I pulled up, I thought you was Junior. I got put him on
Stop right here for me. Came back saying
So the Cleveland Browns got a tough, real tough matchup going up against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore this upcoming weekend. And everybody been speaking to the media about this game. Head coach Devin Stefanski. Now we got offensive coordinator REES. Now we do know that last time they played the game, they lost due to a field goal. Joe Flacco did have 2 questionable interceptions. Some people blaming it on the wide receiver, but a lot of folks are saying that they played a solid game. But now it looked like people in the media and their offense coordinator is stating that the offense is not in rhythm. Now, could this be that Joe Flacco did not play that much in the preseason? Yes. And going back to what I said originally, they should have let one of the damn rookies, Shador or Dylan, start the season because they probably got the most rhythm with the team, even though it was second team. But still, though, like they had more game formality than Joe Flacco. Now, Joe Flacco has a resume that's outstanding, so that should not be an excuse. But to me, it's looking like they're making an excuse for Joe Flacco pretty much and his offense not being in rhythm. And it led me to believe, well, maybe y'all should just let Shador play. You know what I'm saying? Let him try to get in rhythm because clearly Joe Flacco is not in rhythm. He's not ready to go. So that's a red flag to me in my book. But let's play the clip of him talking right now. Roll the footage.
We are around these guys, a good chunk. So you have opportunities to find ways to get install. Obviously for Q, we'll take it day by day to see how he continues to progress in practice. It takes some extra work to make sure that we can catch him up after a Wednesday practice. But, Thursdays and Fridays are really pivotal days throughout the week. So finding ways to make sure that we get him the proper work to give him an opportunity moving forward.
You had him here Monday and Tuesday. Just could you know how much you retained from the playbook and everything from the summer?
Yeah, I think definitely there's a good starting ground for him. When you get into the stream of a season, the one positive is you're not trying to digest, 7 or 8 installs like you would in training camp. You have a finite number of plays, within a game plan. There will be carryover in terms of the terminology that so for him, it's really focused on, all right, we have a new playbook for this week's opponent. Let's try to master that instead of saying, all right, well, here's our 7 installs of training camp. That's a little bit more daunting than one game plan.
Yeah. Get him ready to play at least a package of plays.
Yeah, we got to see how he progresses, right? I mean, there's the physical part of it. There's the player's health part of it. There's the mental part of it. I mean, there's so many different aspects when you're looking to prepare a guy. We have a lot of trust in all the different facets of our organization that will help get him there. And, we'll just monitor as it goes this week. And, hopefully it reaps good benefit. But, we'll take it one day at a time and see where it goes.
When you look at the film from that first game, what can be done to improve the running game?
Yeah. Missed opportunities in the run game for sure. We need to be able to take advantage of if teams, play us a certain style to take advantage of looks that are advantageous. We need all 11 in the run game. The quarterback's making sure we're in the right IDs, the backs making sure we're on the right tracks, the line working the right combinations. Like, it is such a nuanced part of offensive football that, we just got to continue to coach our tails off on the details of it to make sure that our guys are understanding where we're going. But, they're definitely frustrating to have some misses there and need that balance to make sure that we can, sustain drives and sustain series.
With the way you guys used Harold Fannin on Sunday, do you feel like you're just kind of scratching the surface with all the different ways you can deploy him?
Yeah, Harold's done a nice job of, like, as we've talked about him before, coming in and owning the different things we've asked of him. That position, like I think I said last time, like, you get asked to do a lot in that role. His skill set allows you to ask even more of him in that role. So excited about how he performed in his first NFL game. I think you felt that through practice, but you're never really quite sure until you get out there. And continue to push him and continue to find ways to get him to be a, really impactful player for us.
You put a number as to how many different places he could line up in your playbook?
There's only 11 spots, so probably less than 11, I guess.
Talking about.
Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Dylan, specifically, not knowing what until he gets out there. Catching the ball wasn't something necessarily he did a lot of it coming out of Tennessee. How has he sort of grown, and what was Sunday maybe just the tip of the iceberg in terms of?
Yeah, I'll give a lot of credit to our coaches on that one. That was definitely part of the developmental part with Sam when he got here, trying to work those things, find ways. We want our best players on the field, and usually at running back, there's one of those guys, a little bit like quarterback. But if we can find different roles and different ways for him to impact the game, that's impactful. Like the run game we just discussed. I don't know how many like wide or swing routes we threw to Sam that are turned up into 9, 10, 11-yard gains that became kind of pseudo runs, just different ways to get him involved when things aren't clicking as much as you'd want him to. So again, frustrating on the run game part. I got to get that fixed. But to make sure that you still don't lose sight of some of those players and in different ways that they can impact games.
Harold, the tight end position is involved in so many different parts of the game. Can you just help us contextualize how impressive it is for him to be at that position and be this involved this early?
I mean, you saw it on his college tape, right? Obviously a different speed. I got all that, but the capacity to do all those things, to perform in those positions, Left did a great job with him in college of moving him around. So you saw a diverse ability to impact a game. And then it's all right, we'll get him caught up to speed. And then as he continues to digest things, how can we continue to add stuff on his plate? And, he has done a nice job of putting himself in position to be ready. CJ's done a great job getting him ready as his coach, and excited about his prospects. Just got to continue to hone in on the details and make sure that, each week we give him a plan that he can go operate.
You guys using Aiden Huntington on some of those jumbo packages. Like, what about his ability did you guys like to put him in that situation?
Yeah. Well, you watched him on kickoff a few times, and you felt like, the explosive power there, and kid that can learn it and do a good job for us. So Aiden's been great. We used, Winston in a similar role a year ago. So just finding guys that have unique talents that can help the entire team win games.
I know Kevin's the play caller, but you guys are on the same page. So what is your philosophy? Is your philosophy changed on 2-point plays as opposed to PATs? Some coaches are going, the analytics say the more 2 points. What would you say is the philosophy of this offense when it comes to 2-point?
Yeah, I'll defer that to Coach Stefanski. He's ultimately the one who's going to lead us, and we have all the faith that whatever is called, we're going to go operate it.
A large 2-point playbook or not?
I think you have in every game plan, you have plays that you target as, hey, these are specific to that, or low red calls, and you always have backups ready to go. So, we actually won practice this camp. I think we were at 6 in a practice. I remember sitting there being like, that seems like a lot of 2-point plays, but throughout the course of a year, you're going to need some. So I do feel like we have a good plan there.
Jerry and said sort of their ability to bounce back this week and focus after some plays they'd like to have back from last week.
Yeah, it's just got to sync those plays up, right? In football, so often you want to throw it a little better, you want to catch it a little better, you want to landmark a little better. The rhythm's thrown off a little bit by having to step up. There's so many factors to that. Jerry and Seth are confident guys that have made plays in this league a lot of times. So I don't worry about their confidence at all. I think Joe does a great job of building confidence amongst his teammates and the receivers. And I don't worry about Joe's confidence at all if he wanted to throw a little bit higher. Those are just reps that you got to sync up. You watch football across the league, you see balls bounce the other way and end up in a different result. So for us, it's all about the fundamental, the detail of operating those things. But we have a ton of confidence in all 3 of those guys to make sure that we make those plays.
When you look at what you guys were able to do in the past game, even without necessarily explosive plays, but what can you take from what you guys did and turn it into what they see in this Ravens defense, kind of like using that going forward?
Yeah, you just want to build off the success you have. Felt like we did some good things attacking certain parts of the field. Feel like we created some explosives and some third down situations, which was positive. Felt like we put our guys in the right spots for what their abilities are. The Baltimore presents a whole different level of challenges. Just not because they're any different, but just how they approach the game is a different scheme, a different aggressiveness on defense. So, we got to do a great job of understanding their coverage techniques. They have really good players in the secondary at all spots, inside, deep part of the field, outside. They have a good rush plan, which impacts the passing game more than people probably realize. So, we got to own those opportunities, own those situations. And again, we have a lot of belief in those guys to put them in the right spots to make the plays.
The guy with 4.39 speed, Bond. I know it's only been 2 games we've seen him. When are we going to see that speed put to use?
We'll find out, I guess.
So as you guys just heard there, that was offensive coordinator Tommy REES pretty much speaking about this upcoming matchup with the Baltimore Ravens. I want to know your thoughts. Guys, get down in the comment section. Keep them bells on. I will be back with another one. And until next time, shake the damn haters off. I'm out of here, bruh. Peace out.